Now, this old woman tossed this infant into a pool, into the deep end, or whatever, whatnot. And then she tossed it all the way over the, over to the, grass or whatever, whatnot. Like, tossed the baby right to the grass. I'm like, oh, hell no. They called the police or whatever, but the parents didn't want to press charges or nothing like that. They said they just want to go home. That's some crazy shit. I mean, like, this lady just put your baby in danger. You just want to go home and don't press no charges. That's some crazy shit, gang. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy as ever. I mean, but hey, that shit go with everything. That's something, bro. But anyway, now these two teachers got fired from their job because they encouraged the students to protest. And yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with that. But it's like the people that's ahead of them was having problems about that or whatever one night. You know what I'm saying? So they fired them on the spot. And that's some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean but yeah, I mean they just try to you know what I'm saying, just keep the students from protesting against racism. For real though. Yeah, that's some crazy shit, but yeah, I mean said they just did what they was wanted to do or whatever when them teachers wasn't scared to encourage some students to do that, and that's on bro. Anyway, now this lady was getting what I'm saying attention from the police at the hotel or whatever, because the hotel stepped them on her to beat her or whatever whatnot, and she was trying to wait for an Uber or whatever, and they threatened her with an arrest or whatever whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Right on. I don't know what happened or whatever and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's up with that stuff in that hotel, but yeah, that's that right there. He I don't know if it was a he or she. You know what I'm saying? But that was on the pocket for that shit. They called the police on her for no reason at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, said that's just crazy as hell because oh my goodness, just you know what I'm saying, keep going on like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, said, and that's some crazy shit. And the employee that was the hotel staff was black. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? This lady, was lawyer of some sort. You know what I'm saying? She represent a lot of people like that. You know what I'm saying? For real though, that's some crazy shit. A dude go act like she's a criminal and then call the police on her. Motherfucker was out of pocket and that's on, bro. Anyway, so this white dude explain how you know what I'm saying, a lot of people you know what I'm saying, that's used to making knots or looses is not black. You know what I'm saying? Real though. I mean so and so how the brothers and sisters is go make looses so they can hinder something treat. For real though, I mean that shit don't make no sense again. For real though. Anyway, so yeah, I mean he try to get people to you know what I'm saying, protect us or whatever whatnot, you know what I'm saying, but I don't know how that's gonna go, gang, you know what I'm saying? I mean see, because yeah, I mean talking is one thing, but action is another thing, you know what I'm saying? Real though, I mean see, and I'm just keeping it in the book. You know what I'm saying? For real though, I mean shit, but hell yeah, he exposed them for the bullshitters they are. He said it's not the 1960s no more. For real though, because that's some crazy shit. But they've been doing this for a long time. Years from 1960, you know what I'm saying? And that's on bro. Anyway, this, cop, try to, mess with this homeless man and his family or whatever, whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Because, he was recording them or whatever. And he was DA, a DA, for real though, district attorney. You know what I'm saying? He actually just start messing with this man for no goddamn reason. That's saying this man asked him for his name and badge number, and he up there just slammed him down and put him on the ground, put his knee on his neck or whatever, try to grab his phone or whatever. Dude was like, give me my phone, give me my phone. You know what I'm saying? It was like that, you know what I'm saying? Real though, anyway. So, yeah, it was crazy as hell. Real though, he kept on recording them or whatever, whatnot. Not saying this, man, call the police or whatever. And I'm talking about the, DA. He called the police or whatever, whatnot. The police came or whatever. And, he was telling, cops, about, what the zoo was doing or whatever. But he wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't hurting nobody. He was just, recording them. That's all. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? Because he said he wanted to show his daughter that the police could be nice guys or whatever, whatnot. But the opposite, the opposite is, showed up or whatever, whatnot. You know what I mean? It revealed itself or whatever. Know what I'm saying? Anyway, so yeah, she was up there, running for her dad or whatever or whatnot. It was, it didn't, get, too out of hand, though. You know what I'm saying? Dude was out of pocket for this. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah. After he, said this piece, the other dude, said this piece or whatever and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? For real, plus he had this woman and his kid with him. You know what I'm saying? For real, after he said this piece, dude turned, to apologetic. Now I'm saying he started saying sorry to him and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because he knew that he was on. He knew he was in the wrong. He knew that was bullshit that he did. Ronaldo. And that motherfucker was out of pocket for that shit. Know what I'm saying? But hell, shit, he ain't gonna learn from his mistakes because he gonna keep on doing it. He probably might do it to somebody else up there in Tennessee, and that's on bro. Anyway, now these cops, got caught on camera, doing some crazy shit or whatever, whatnot, you know what I mean? First dude wasn't so lucky because, the cop just, told him to, get out the car, whatever, whatnot, and he gave this cop consent to search or whatever, whatnot. And this cop, found this, bag or whatever, but he thought it was contraband or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness, it's crazy as ever, for real though. Shoot, he ended up, going after this dude or whatever. He dragged him, you know what I'm saying? Just slammed him down on the ground, choking him and all that stuff. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. It was crazy as ever. You know what I'm saying? He even put him down on the, you know what I'm saying? Put him right down on the ground, put his knee on him and all that. Dang, he was crazy. He was crazy as hell, gang. I'm telling you. Not saying that's what, these cops do once they, get that chip over their goddamn shoulder. For real though. But he was in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that showed on video and that's on bro. Anyway. Now, these, other, two, individuals or whatever, whatnot, knew the law. And they wasn't gonna let let these officers, fuck with them like that. You know what I'm saying? They, you know what I'm saying, ask them for their name and badge number and all that shit. They said they didn't even bring no laws or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? The police just wanted to mess with them just to be messing with them. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Anyway, so the cop ended up, asking them for his, license and registration and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He showed his license or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the, cop, actually, looked at his, license and saw that it was expired or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And, it was applicable, but the cop didn't, get the, upper hand, though. Why? Because That man knew what the fuck he knew. You know what I'm saying? And just like I said, you like you study them image and you go like outcome any motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers trying to pull on you. For real though. Anyway, this like other dude like went up into this like building or whatever whatnot, you know what I'm saying, at this police station, and he was up there just recording around the hallway or whatever whatnot. That's saying the cops ended up starting messing with him and stuff like that. And he asked them about their names and badge numbers or whatever whatnot. That's saying ain't nothing was going on. You know what I'm saying? For real though. Anyway, so yeah, they was up there just like, talking to this dude, trying to make this dude start recording or whatever, or leave the building or whatever, whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And he like, actually just explained to them that he was like, free to like, go ahead and like, record or whatever, because it's part of the amendment or whatever, whatnot, you know what I mean? For real though. So they just left his ass alone. And that's on, bro. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, hit the bell on notifications so you can see my next video and my next post. And make sure I make no more tomorrow. And oh yeah, you can check out my previous videos if you like. So long, farewell, goodbye.